Hey everybody, it's Monday, February 28th, 2022, and I want to talk about The Walking Dead, Season 11, Episode 11, and it was a very good episode. So, last week we saw Daryl and Carol and Ezekiel and everybody, Rosita and Eugene, everybody kind of getting used to being at Commonwealth. And this week kind of follows along with that. And we basically follow three storylines. Eugene and Princess in one, Connie and Kelly in the other one, and Carol and Lance Hornsby in the third. And that's basically what we have this week. It's not super action-packed. I mean, it's got some good stuff going on, but it's a good story. It's a good building story, so I'm happy with it. Let's talk about it. Eugene wakes up in the morning. He's with Stephanie, and they're waking up. She's reading. He's been working on a book. And Stephanie's reading Eugene's book, and it's about basically what he's been through, and the people, everybody, our group with Rick and Daryl and Rosita and Gabriel and everybody. So she likes it. She's getting up to get ready to go to work, and Eugene decides it's time to give her a key to his apartment. He had one made. And gives her the key and tells her that he loves her. And you can see she's a little taken aback by getting the key. And when he says, "I love you," you can just tell she's acting weird. She kind of says it, but through her teeth kind of nicely, a little. But they agree to meet at 5:30 in the evening to get some ice cream, So he's talking to Princess and telling her how, everything's going good and everything, and I gave her a key and I told her I loved her, and she reciprocated, and Princess tells him, when a woman tells you she loves you, just believe it, everything's good. So Eugene goes waiting for Stephanie to come and have some ice cream with him, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting there. She didn't show up. So he goes to her apartment, and she's not answering the door. He's got to be buzzed in. And somebody walks out, a guy, and Eugene, goes in and goes to the door, knocking on her actual apartment door. There's no answer. We see Stephanie in her bedroom packing her bags like she's going to make a fast exit. And I wondered why she didn't make this fast exit already. But, she had all day long to do what she needed to do. So the next day, Eugene calls the Commonwealth Authority, which is the stormtroopers, and Rosita and some other guy come. They come and do a health check on her and find that the apartment's empty, and she's not there. And I believe that's where they show Eugene, or maybe he gets it later. She asked for a transfer in her work, signed by her. He recognizes her handwriting, and Eugene just, she's gone. She didn't want to be with me. But he never says that. So, Eugene continues, and he apparently has been in his apartment for a minute, not leaving. You can tell he's disheveled. He needs shaved. Princess comes and visits him, and how's it going? He's got a wall. On his wall, he's got a collage, and it's like an old school police or detective thing where, he's got Stephanie's picture in the middle, and this other guy that was walking out of her apartment, his picture over here, and all these different things around, and strings connecting them and stuff written on notes. And he tells her about the transfer of a job, and he said this guy is supposed to be a plumber, but he's not. I've checked the records. No record of him being called and dispatched to that building. No record of this. I followed him. He does all his work at night. And so this goes on, and basically Eugene and Princess go to break into this guy's apartment during the day when he's at work, or leaves, and they get caught. And they see that he's got basically a kidnap kit, which would probably have a gun, a knife, a rope, handcuffs, stuff like that you would want to use to kidnap somebody. So they get caught. The Commonwealth Authority shows up, takes him to jail, and he tells them all this stuff. They show him in jail, and Lance Hornsby tells him, "Look, I've checked everything out. He is a plumber. The paperwork was just filed wrong. He was there that night working on a clogged up sink, and he won't press charges, but you've got to drop all this stuff, Eugene, and leave it alone." So Eugene says, "Okay, that's it." And next thing you know, they're showing Eugene following somebody into a building, and he kind of goes and corners this person, and then Stephanie comes and kicks him into nads, and and says, "I told you somebody was following us." And she goes upstairs with someone else while Lance Hornsby comes downstairs and starts telling Eugene, "I told you to leave it alone. You guys are here. Leave this alone, just accept it for what it is." And, Eugene, he's just shaken to the core. And he's, "What, you were lying to us this whole time? You were getting information on us. I wouldn't talk to you about Alexander when we first showed up, but what you did all this just so you could find out about us and bring us here and all this stuff." And the guy's like, yeah, we did. And you're here, and you're productive members of society, and you got apartments and jobs, and everything's good. No walkers, And basically Eugene can't argue with him. So they show Eugene sitting at the end of the episode. Last thing we see, Eugene sitting outside his apartment. Looks like a little alleyway or behind it or something. And he's burning pictures that he drew of Stephanie in the book that he was writing. He burned it. And behind him, a girl walks up at the gate behind him and tries to talk to him, and he's kind of ignoring her. She says, "I really need to talk to you. I really need to talk to my tater bug." And Eugene turns around, and it's Stephanie from the radio. It's the actual girl he had talked to, because this was not the real Stephanie that he'd been with. The Stephanie that he talked to was Pamela Milton's assistant, the one that got held at knife point by Tyler Davis, the ex-trooper. She's also Mercer's sister. So that's the last thing we see about that. Connie and Kelly are working for the newspaper, the Commonwealth Tribune, and Connie's upset because her piece got turned into a fluff piece, just, talking about Pamela Milton. She wants to find out what's up with this Tyler guy, what his story is, why is he upset, all this stuff. Basically, the newspaper won't let her. And so they go to see this Tyler Davis in the hospital, but he's, Mercer has him locked the door locked and everything. They can't get in. So the newspaper sends Connie and Kelly out to follow Mercer and some of the troopers. They're going out to clear walkers that are getting close to the Commonwealth. And they go out with them, and they watch them kill some walkers. And Mercer says, "Okay, you got pictures. Now this is the part where you ask me questions." Connie asks her, asked him about Tyler Davis, and he said that's not one of the questions. And she's like, well, this you wanted you put him in for promotion. He was doing a good job and everything. What happened to him? And Mercer wouldn't answer. And so, he held your sister at gunpoint or at knife point, and all this stuff. His story deserves to be heard. He basically doesn't answer him. And then they show Mercer goes to the hospital. He goes into the room where Tyler was being held, and he's gone. The room's cleared. The guards are gone. And he goes to the nurse and says, who ordered this? What happened to him? Where's my guards? Nobody can move him without my authority. And the nurse looks at him and says, well, apparently someone can. So he's mad. And that's really all that happened with them. They did write their piece about Mercer and killing the walkers and all. Connie's upset that she had to do it, that she wants to be writing real investigative stuff. But Kelly tells her, look, we don't plan on being here forever. And it's better than starving at Alexandria. And let's, just go with the flow. And don't make too many waves. And, so that's that. Carol, remember last week, talked to Lance Hornsby about helping Ezekiel get put to the front of the list for surgery. And she brought him the wine, and he said, you'll need to help me with more. So this week he takes her to this farm outside the Commonwealth, and it's basically a drug farm. They're growing poppy seeds and making opium so that they can use it in the hospital for pain and whatever else. And she said, is this part of the Commonwealth? And he said, no, but they need us, we need them, it works out good. And that's really about it. Rosita came and helped Eugene check on Stephanie when he asked for a courtesy call, health check, welfare check. But that's it. We didn't see Gabriel, we didn't see Daryl, we didn't see Ezekiel, Maggie, Aaron. We didn't see a bunch of people. And it basically followed on those three groups. It was a good story. It's moving along the whole idea that the Commonwealth is not trustworthy, that our people are there under false pretenses. And, it's moving it along, and I think it's going to be going somewhere pretty good. That's my Walking Dead review for the week, and thanks all for watching.
We're on easy street, and it feels so sweet, 'cause the world is but a treat.